Hey guys, in today's video, we are checking out a super tiny and super portable and compact wireless in-ear monitor system. This is the U4 by XVive, and it's an insanely small, portable, wireless in-ear monitor system for you. This is actually the transmitter right here. So, it's less than the size of my hand, and this is the receiver that lives on you on like your belt and stuff like that. It's super tiny, super portable and compact. It's a lot cheaper than most in-ear monitor systems. So for this video, I'm going to do a review on it, go over some of the specs, how it works, setup, stuff like that. See if this is something that's right for you. I'll go over some of the pros, some of the cons, and you can see if the system is right for you. XVive did send me this to check out for my channel. They're not paying me anything to say it. They just sent it to me to check out, and I actually really like it. I've been gigging with it over the last couple of weeks. Very impressed by it. There's even one show where I swear it sounded better than my $1,000 in-ear system, but I'll get to that in my experience part in the video. But I'm going to basically just review this and see if it's something that you might be interested in. So before we get started, I post videos like this all the time, stuff on wireless, in-ear monitors, find cheap gear for musicians on Amazon, MIDI programming, stuff like that. If you're interested in seeing more videos like this in the future, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to ring the bell to be notified when I put out new videos. And if you find this content helpful, hitting the like button is a free way to support the channel. All right, let's go ahead and get started. And before we get started, if you're brand new to in-ear monitors, if you know nothing about it or know very little about it, I recommend watching my beginner's guide to in-ear monitors first and then come back and watch this video. I go over the basics of what they are, how they work, and stuff like that. So I would watch that first if you're brand new to in-ear monitors. All right, so we're going to go over everything that's included in this because it does give you quite a few things, including a couple of bonus things that are really nice that they included in here. So this is everything that you get. So speaking of the most important ones, this is your receiver. So this is what lives on you on like your belt pack, and you plug your earbuds in right there. Nice and simple. This is the transmitter, the most portable transmitter ever. This plugs in to wherever you're trying to send the signal from. So like a mixer that's going to send you that in-ear monitor mix. Something that I love about this system is that they give you this little adapter, which is amazing. So this is to adapt this. So if you're using a 1/4-inch system, one of the mixers that I use is the Behringer X12, and that does send a 1/4-inch out. So that's awesome that this is included in there. Super smart of them. It also does have this latch button right here. So if I try to pull it, it's not going to come out. But if I push on it, and then I can pull it out. It comes with a dual USB charging cable. So you can charge the transmitter and the receiver from one USB port, which is really nice. Comes with a bag so that you can store it and carry it, which is nice. This actually just goes right in my backpack. Super easy, super convenient. And of course you get the manual, which I'm going to go over here in a little bit. Some of the important details in it, but not everything. Something you might notice is that there are no earbuds in this, so you do have to order your own. So luckily I did a video about some $20 to $50 in-ear monitor earbuds that you should check out, which I do definitely recommend. I'll remind you again at the end of this video and post links down below so you can check those out. But you will need to buy some earbuds with this system. All right, so the setup is stupid easy on this. So this is the transmitter. So what you want to do is you want to plug that in to whatever is sending the signal. So it usually goes into a mixer. And again, you do have this adapter if you need it to be 1/4-inch instead. Quite simple. Flip on the power switch right here to turn it on. And then you push the button. You can see you have 6 different channel options. So now it's on channel 3. Now it's on channel 4. Now it's on channel 5, so on and so forth. So pick a channel, whichever one you want. And then the thing that's also really nice is they give you this line and aux right here. So if the signal's too loud or too quiet, or if you need to, match the impedance, if you know you're getting an aux signal versus a line signal, you can adjust it right there, which is very convenient. This is the receiver. This lives on you. And again, look at the size of this. I mean, this is compared to my hand. I mean, it's the size of half my index finger. It's so tiny. It's awesome. So you have a switch up here. Turn it on. Up here is where you plug in your in-ear monitors. So you'll plug it in right there. I'm going to just leave that unplugged just for this demo. You have your channel selector right here. So just in the same way that you have 6 channels on the other one, you have 6 channels on here. So push the button. You have to push it twice in order. Sometimes it'll lock, which is nice because that way it doesn't accidentally get bumped. So now I'm on channel 3. Now I'm on channel 4, 5, so on and so forth. So I was on channel 1 on this one. So I just need to set this to channel 1. And you'll notice if I'm on a wrong channel, this light will be off. When I switch to channel 1, this light turns on. You have your volume control right here. So this is all the way quiet. And then this right here is all the way up. Never turn it all the way up. You always want to give yourself some room in order to turn up. And that's basically it. You do have this little light right here. It'll turn on when you're low on battery, and it'll start to blink when you are really low on battery. And it also has that on the transmitter as well. And again, for charging, when you're done with it, it charges over micro USB. Super simple. Okay, so as far as specs, so this thing is a 2.4 gigahertz wireless in-ear monitor system. I will address that here in a little bit. 2.4, it can be very congested, but there are tricks that you can do to make that less congested and more reliable, and I'll get to that in a little bit. Solid RF connection over 90-foot range, so it's got about 90 feet of range. And again, they mention in here that, you know, the actual range depends on every wireless environment. It's going to be different, but 90 feet I think is definitely good at this price range. 107 decibels of signal to noise ratio. It is very clear, crystal clear. I had no noise when I've used this thing. Frequency range is from 20 hertz up to 20 kilohertz, so full frequency response, nothing cut out at all. Less than 5 seconds of latency. If anyone tells you they can hear 5 seconds of latency, they are lying. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, you're not going to hear any latency with this. 5-hour battery life, which is great. So, you know, the longest gigs that I usually do are 4 hours. So this will survive even longer than that. I can confirm that. I did do a couple of 4-hour sets with this and it never cut out and the battery never died. And then just one thing to keep in mind is that this is a mono system. You don't have 2 inputs. So if you have to have it be stereo, this is a mono system. I almost always gig mono. It doesn't bother me. Even when I have an option to do stereo, I don't even usually do it. I mean, I'm not going to complain if I get stereo, but most of the time I just use mono. So to me, it's not a problem. All right. So as far as pricing, so looking online on Amazon, you know, it's about $230 for just the system, 1 transmitter, 1 receiver, but it does give you multiple options. So you can see this 2 receiver plus 1 transmitter for about $340 and 4 receivers with 1 transmitter for about $570. So you can save some money if people are going to share a mix. So with the 4 receiver, that will send 1 mix to 4 different musicians. They get the same mix. If you want to have separate mixes, you're going to have to buy multiple receivers and multiple transmitters. I think that's definitely fair priced, especially for these combo ones. So, you know, especially if you guys are sharing a mix, to get 2 in-ear monitor systems for $340, I think is a good deal. You know, the entry-level Shure system's about $800 and the entry-level Sennheiser's about $1,000. So this is, you know, 3 to 5 times cheaper than those systems, and it's insanely portable. So keep that in mind. I definitely think it's reasonably priced. Links will be in the description down below to purchase if you are interested. There are Amazon affiliate links, so it is a free way to support the channel at no extra cost to you if you decide to use those links. All right, so some of the pros about this thing is probably the most portable in-ear monitor system I've ever used. I mean, I've never seen anything this tiny that works this well for a wireless in-ear monitor system. You know, most of the other ones you have to get, you know, the rack with the antenna and stuff like that. This is perfect for travel and stuff like that. I play in multiple bands, so it's awesome that I don't always have my expensive in-ear monitor system with me. So being able to have this one is nice for travel gigs. This is amazing. Portability and the compactness of it is really awesome. It's also about as easy to use as it gets. I mean, you turn it on, set it to one of the channels, and plug in and you're good to go. And you even get that adapter in case if you need it. I mean, it's just such a simple to use system. It's as basic plug and play as it gets. You know, basically anyone can figure this system out. So that's definitely a plus. The audio is crystal clear in this thing. There's no buzz, there's no hum or anything like that, which is also what's great about it being portable, because, you know, this doesn't require power. So you don't get any like ground loops or buzzing or stuff like that. So that's a huge plus about this. The audio is crystal clear. The first gig that I brought this to, I was just blown away by how good it sounds. So it really does sound crystal clear. There's no tone loss at all. It's really nice. It is very convenient that it has that switch to go from aux to line. That is super, super convenient in this system in case if the signal's too loud or too quiet, you have a way to adjust that to match your impedance properly. So the main con with it is that there's only 6 channels to choose from. I do wish there were a little bit more, but I mean, that's why in-ear monitors can get more expensive. The more channels that are available, the more expensive the system is going to be. So I think this is reasonably priced for having only 6 channels. I wish there was a little bit more, but again, the 6 are good. And I will talk about that in my experience with them here coming up in a little bit as well. The main con is that, and if you've seen any of my other videos, is that it's in 2.4 gigahertz. So I've had problems with 2.4 gigahertz. I have not had problems with this one. I've used it and I haven't had any problems with it, but 2.4 is a very crowded network. I do wish this was on 5.8 or 900 megahertz or something a little bit different. However, I just mentioned that 6 channels is not a whole lot, but you do have 5 other channels that you can choose from. So 2.4 is nice because you never need, it's accepted everywhere in the world. You're allowed to use it anywhere. So it's a universal one. You never have to check to see, oh, am I allowed to use this one in this country, which one do I have to get? it. So that is a huge plus about 2.4. It's just congested and crowded because of it. But with 2.4, I mean, the main thing you want to do is just make sure that you always keep it away from Wi-Fi routers and stuff like that. So keep it at least 10 feet from Wi-Fi routers, and that's a huge way to reduce the chance of getting a dropout on a 2.4 gigahertz wireless system. It's really just that simple. So get, a little extender cable or something like that, and just keep it away from a router if you have like a router in your in-ear monitor rack or something like that. Okay, so my experience with these. So I've been using this over the past couple of weeks. I always make sure to test my gear before I do a review on it, because if it doesn't work, I don't want to recommend it on my channel. The first gig that I did, I brought it up to the mountains and I used it up there. We had a private event. I set it up, and what I did is I made sure I had my Sennheiser system, my expensive Sennheiser, still hooked up, but I had this one set to our aux output. So if we hire like a violin player or an additional vocalist or something like that, they get this input in our in-ear monitor mix. So I just set that and kind of matched it similar to mine. It sounded so good. It sounded better than my Sennheiser system. Now, here's the trick. I don't know if that was because I had a slightly different mix. I can't say that was better than the Sennheisers, because the Sennheisers are great. In the way that I had it mixed, it sounded better than my $1,000 in-ear systems. Again, that could be just the way that I had it mixed, but just the fact that it sounded that good was a huge plus for me, especially on the first gig that I did. Also on that first gig that I did, my singer, not the lead singer, but the other backing vocalist who does lead sometimes, but he brought his Shure GLX system, which also runs on 2.4 gigahertz, and he was having problems with that one. I was having no issues with this one. This one was crystal clear all night. So that's a huge plus on the 2.4 gigahertz system, that it's working better than, a $700 Shure microphone. It's not always going to be the case. 2.4 is very tricky to deal with sometimes, but that was a really good sign. And then the gig that I just did over this weekend, we did a gig at a bar, just a smaller gig. This was actually really cool. So when I turned it on, checked it, it was getting interference. And you're going to have that with any wireless system. You're never going to be able to just leave it on one frequency and it's always going to be clear. That's just the way wireless frequencies work, especially 2.4. So I turned it on. It was on like channel 4 or something like that, and I was getting interference. So I switched to channel 6 and it cleared it right up. The thing that's cool about that is that I've used other 2.4 gigahertz systems. They only had like 4 channels available. And if you switch to one of the other channels, it just basically would only have a little bit less interference, but it did not work perfect. So this one, it was interference on 4. I switched to 6 and it was clear all night. That's another thing. I know I've mentioned in the cons about 6 channels is limited, and it is, but the fact that you can change channels and find a clear signal is a huge plus and a huge relief to me as someone who's a little more hesitant with 2.4. So that was really cool. So final thoughts, I definitely recommend this system. It's priced very well, especially for the portability, for how crystal clear it sounds. I'm going to keep it with me, use it for travel gigs. I'm going to use it for bringing it to like rehearsals and stuff like that, especially if I don't want to bring my Sennheiser out of the rack and stuff like that. I wouldn't play, massive stadium shows with this system. I mean, if you're about to go on a stadium tour and you're looking at a $200 in-ear monitor system, I don't know if I can help you with if that's where your logic's at. But I do medium and smaller ones and bigger ones, and I definitely trust this system for like more smaller and medium-sized venues, especially when I do solo or acoustic gigs and stuff like that. It's just so convenient of how portable it is. I know I keep talking about the portability, but it's really, really cool how portable this is. It's also great just to have for me as a backup. So even if I do bring my big rack that has the Sennheisers, I'm going to always be bringing this one as a backup, either for me or some of the other musicians. I think it's definitely worth it for that. For travel rigs, man, this thing is so easy to pack up in like a backpack or something like that and just carry it on a plane or in your pocket, So the portability of this is fantastic. I really love that. Just keep in mind that you don't get earbuds with this. Just remember that. So like I mentioned earlier, I do have a video on some really good earbuds that you can get. One of them is $20, one of them is $50. I really recommend just spending the $50 and getting these nicer ones with more drivers. Again, I'll post the link down below and up in the cards so that you guys can check out that video. But overall, I think this is a great system. I'm going to continue to use it, and I'm actually going to bring it to my rehearsal tomorrow. So thank you, XVive, for sending me this. I definitely am a fan. So hope this helped you guys out. If you guys made it to the end of this video, just do me a favor and hit the like button. It's a free way to support the channel, recommend my video into the YouTube algorithm and stuff like that. Only takes you a second, and it really does help me out, so I would definitely appreciate it. Purchase links to these will be down in the description down below. Another way to help out the channel is if you use the links down below. They are Amazon affiliate links. It doesn't cost you anything extra to use those links. It's just a free way to support the channel. channel. It lets them know that I sent you and gives me a little bit of a kickback. So you don't have to, but I'd appreciate it if you did. Check out some of my other videos. I've done a ton of different other videos checking out cheaper systems. Check out those in the description or on your screen now. Check out the playlist or some of my other videos. Don't forget to follow me on my social media pages at Scott Ewell Music on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Thank you guys again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Ring the bell if you want to see when I put out my next video. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you next time.